Hey everyone, it's Monday, March 30th, 2020, and that means another podcast is dropping. I'm still pondering on breaking the show into seasons, possibly with 10 to 12 episodes per season. Haven't fully committed, but I think it's good for me to do something like that due to my uncanny ability to go ADD on projects and where I get bored and I don't want to do it anymore and I want to do something else. I think seasons would give me a finite amount of shows that I can plan and plan out, take a break, and then recharge. Of course, it's something I'm going to think on more, but I think it's a good idea for someone like me. That way I can keep, producing a consistent product. Because if I say to only do 10 to 12 episodes per season, that way I can just take a break and just redo it another time. Say I'm just taking a break instead of just outright quitting and having no definite answer when I'm coming back. With that being said, though, guest this Monday is going to be Steven Returned Johnson. Like Corvus from last Friday, he's someone I've worked with quite a bit in the collegiate circuit, and we really don't talk that much unless it's in meme format on Twitter or something like that. But it's nice to sit down and talk to him and get his experience. He and a handful of casters went out to LA to pursue the whole esports life, and he talks about that and how it panned out, as well as a lot of other topics. I mean, he's a head analyst right now for Supernova Gaming, so he's going somewhere. I think I always thought analyst was going to be a great position for him, and I talk about that in the podcast as well. There's also mention of him having a very nerdy photo from his high school days, but after looking through about 600 pictures or so, I wasn't able to find it. So other than my poor investigative skills, it's a great listen. Hope you enjoy. So what have you been up to? Like what's your schedule like now?
Non-existent. So as of late, like I still work with Supernova, so I do a lot of analyst work with them.
Yeah.
So like normally daily from like 7 till about 10, I'm working as coach analyst, so in scrims, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time it's I don't know, it's like there's some league play in there, there's some research for LCS LEC, and then there's a lot of sleep. So that's about what we're at right now.
You just wake up?
Yeah. Yeah, I was up late last night, so
yeah.
I woke up and I was like, shoot, I gotta be up by noon.
I know, you were very punctual because I was actually just about to go to sleep, and then at like 9, like on the dot, you said 5 minutes. I was like, all right, well, at least you gave an answer because I was at least gonna wait till 9.
Yeah, my bad.
No, you're good, man. How is Supernova going?
Supernova's going all right. We got off. I don't know if you've been following, but we got off to a bit of a rocky start.
Yeah.
Losing out of the group stage of UPL, but I think we're finally hitting our stride. We found the 5 guys we really want to work with. APA and Nuclear have been fantastic ever since replacing some guys we knocked off the squad a little bit ago. So we're looking to get warmed up for scouting grounds and all that kind of stuff, which should be starting sometime soon. So
No,
we're hopeful.
There's no interruption with that one since it's all online.
No, yeah, scouting grounds like the one part of esports that isn't just gone right now, so that's great.
Yeah. I mean, the amateur events seem all right. The pro events are limping along, and then college is dead.
Oh yeah, college is beyond dead. That's been making for some really fun Twitter reading as of late, but amateur is fine because we're just used to everything being online and everyone playing from home. Anything that is any like in-person component, that's just dead right now. That's just beyond dead.
Right. So how are you liking the analytical work, like the analyst work, compared to say your broadcasting work? It's like a new turn. It's something you've always done. It's just now you're doing it for a team.
Yeah, I mean, ever since I was back in Collegiate, I've always done some sort of either coaching or analyst role as well as playing and whatnot. Yeah. So it's different to say the least. There are still parts I missed about casting day to day, like especially the larger events and whatnot. But there's also a part where I'm more in control of my own fate with this. Yeah. Something I noticed when I was in LA, something that got me out of casting, was not only like the situation in LA where a little bit dog eat dog and paying like over $1,000 for this like basically a cardboard box to live in. So that's all fun. I'm sure Vegas isn't like great, I don't know. How is the housing situation in Vegas? Is it
Well,
like
I have it
expensive or?
I have it. So okay, so Vegas. There's like quadrants in Vegas. There's the southeast, which is Henderson, which is really nice.
Right.
The northeast, and the east, which is not very good from my understanding. And then there's the north, not very good. I actually work in the north, and I can attest I would never live up there. The
Right.
northwest is is pretty all right. A lot of my friends live up there, and there's like I don't really see anything bad up there. The east is nice. The south is nice. The southeast is nice. Or I'm sorry, the southwest. The west, southwest, and in the south is actually nice. I live right in between where it's about to get really nice and it could be shady. So it's like I don't really have much crime here, but there are some weird people here every now and then, and I live like next to a couple gas stations. But as far as like just giving you like an area of where I live at, so you can kind of judge how much I pay is worth it or not. I pay $1,000 for a 2 bedroom, 1,025 for a 2 bedroom, 2 full bath.
Like that's your half of it, or that's the overall price of it?
That's the whole thing.
Okay, so it's not as bad. Like
Not
back
even
in
near
LA,
as bad. No.
yeah, I'm sure you know Steve, right? Sir Buttkick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he and I were splitting like a garage, like a
Yeah.
legitimate garage for $2,000.
So that's one of the reasons why I decided. Well, there's like multiple reasons why I decided to move to Vegas, but like there's a big part of me, and my wife would have followed me. She would have hated it, but she would have done it, and I didn't want her to resent me for it. So one of the reasons why I never moved to LA or to San Francisco or Bay Area is because I was so afraid of not being able to live my life the way I wanted to. Because I've tried the roommate thing numerous times, and like I can get along with some of them, but I just prefer my privacy. I'm a very private person outside of what I post on Twitter, what I allow people to see. I'm relatively private, and when someone is in there, like in my house all the time, I mean it's like a tolerance thing rather than a sweet let's do this kind of thing. And in LA, I knew that was going to be the case, and I never wanted that. And so I've had interviews for some jobs recently over in the Bay Area, and the only reason why I was even considering it was because they were paying over $100,000, and because I heard that you kind of have to make about $100,000 to live in Bay Area comfortably the way I want to, and I just I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that life. And like whenever you told me you were gonna do that, like I was like, holy shit, man, go! I was like really happy for you, but at the same time, I was like, God, that would suck. I can't do that. It's like it's fucking hard. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it was one of those experiences. So for the guys who don't know, I assume we're still on recording.
We are, yeah.
But all right, cool. So speaking to the audience now,
Hello.
for the guys who don't know, I moved to Los Angeles. I think it was about April time. Last year.
Yeah, it was after Midwest Campus Clash because I remember that's when you were talking about it.
Right. Yeah. So I moved there basically after I graduated. So I graduated last year, moved down to LA with 2 to 3 of my friends. So it was Steve Serbutt Kongas. He's just Steve Kongas now, which is a terrible mistake, by the way. But we'll get into that topic later.
Fair.
Buttkick is a beautiful brand.
Kongas is a pretty cool name, though.
Like it is, but like he's Sir Buttkick.
I thought about dropping Fekes.
All right. Like I feel like there's more history in the Buttkick. Well, not history. Like you've been around for a while, but like Sir Buttkick is just the name that like
I do recognize him as Sir Buttkick.
You don't forget.
I recognize him as that. I actually didn't know his name was Kongas until you mentioned it.
Yeah. I think he just changed it like ever since he's been on Academy and whatnot. Okay, but
Gotcha.
But back to the story. So yeah. So I moved down there with 2 of my friends, Steve Serbutt Kongas and Coco the Dragon. Cole Coco the Dragon Damley.
Yeah, CSL guy.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, it's a gang, collegiate gang down there.
Yep.
But we moved down, and basically our idea was we each saved up a bit of money. We thought it was going to be way more than it was, and then we got to LA and realized how expensive everything was. But we decided that we wanted to take our shot with casting. We all wanted to move down there, try to get some jobs, and see what we could do. It was miserable ever since I got there with
Oh man.
right when I got down there, I actually spent like 2 months living in basically a frat house. That was miserable. I went to a college that never had frats, and I had roommates, but it was like one or two. This place was just wrecked. Like I got there were like 10 guys there. I think right when I walked in, my friend Deserex like drove me over because he lives in LA. He picked me up from the airport and brought me to my place. And I got there and like I was traveling really light with one suitcase and a backpack. And I get in and the whole place is just trashed.
You're not keen on that. You seem pretty organized.
No. Like I am not the most organized person, but I at least need a semblance of everything is okay.
Yeah.
This was not okay. Like there were like beer bottles everywhere, alcohol everywhere. There's some guy's underwear just laying in the hallway.
That's disgusting.
And thankfully, it was absolutely disgusting. Like I legitimately was debating whether I just find an airline ticket home that like tomorrow. And that would have been the short. Like I would have just shown back. I was like, "Hey guys, hey mom and dad, I'm back home. What's up?" But didn't end up doing that. Thankfully, it was just their graduation. So they were just going wild, and I was like, all right, maybe it's going to get better. Thankfully, it got a little bit better. I was still living in, a little bit of a trash dump, but that existed for like 2 months. I managed through that. And then after that, eventually Steve, Coco, and I all found a not quite totally legal place to live. It was like one of those Airbnbs that are definitely not above board.
Yeah.
But I at least felt like I was living in a place where I wasn't gonna get stabbed and that I can control how clean it was.
Man.
So, hey, I've lived outside of Chicago. I've lived outside of Atlanta. That is a very rare.
I know you lived. I know you lived outside of Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta, and it was absolutely horrible.
Right.
I couldn't stand it. That's why I moved. I actually was living in I was living in a roast-infested shoebox in Atlanta.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great. So, I lived in Buckhead, which is like super bougie.
Yeah.
But I lived in the Darlington in Buckhead. Do you know that building?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I know that building.
Yeah, man. I was actually talking. So, fun fact, Corvus was on yesterday, and he lives over there.
You're just banging out these interviews.
Dude, I'm off for 28 days. I'm off for 30 days. I have nothing to do. So I booked 9 of these in like 2 weeks. So I have 2 of them today, and yeah, I'm just trying to keep myself occupied, slightly distracted, and optimistic about life. Because if I'm not going to be working, I better be creating something. And I don't cast anymore, so this is what I'm doing. But,
True.
Yeah, man. So yeah. I was talking to him about that yesterday because he lives over. I think he lives in Marietta. He said, I've been to his place before. I don't remember why I was in Atlanta talking to him. Oh yeah, I was taking a staycation. I was just going to stay in a tiny home in an Airbnb in a forest because I was just like I just wanted to get away. But and I visited him and Blaster, and you weren't there. I think you were in LA at the time, so I didn't get it. We didn't like meet up with you or anything.
That's all right.
Yeah. But yeah, I used to live in the Darlington in Buckhead, which is like out of the tiny square of Buckhead is like a ghetto, and everything else around it is like this bougie gentrification stuff. And yeah, it was horrible. I told him I was there during the Super Bowl whenever the Falcons lost, and I was scared to be in that building because people were
yikes.
irate. And
I had moved to Atlanta by that point, but I was up in New England as that was happening, and I can't tell you how much I was rubbing it into everyone's face for 3 quarters and then crying for a fourth.
Yeah, that was a weird game.
It was
a seesaw matchup, not indeed. It was just one into the other.
It's like, suck on that, Patriots fans. Oh, wait, what's going on? Why are they scoring?
It was a pendulum that swung once, and that's it. But yeah, so the Darlington, I was like afraid to be there on a normal night, and on that night I was like, oh my god, I put a weapon next to the door like a crowbar because I didn't know what to expect. People were being really irrational, which I mean they're in that building again. They're irrational in the first place.
Just leave the bow and arrow at the door.
I have been tempted. It's not as bad here where I'm
for
at
a bow
now.
and arrow.
Yeah, because I don't like
Oh
guns.
no.
I don't do guns very well.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I have swords. I have swords laying around. I have
Hit
a
him with the katana.
no joke. I have a pirate sword. I have, and these sound ridiculous, but they're actually quite legit. I have a pirate sword. I have a cane that pulls out into a sword. I used to have oh, what was it? I just used to have a broadsword, but I think I got rid of it because it was just bulky and I didn't want to swing that damn thing. I have a what's his name from Soul Calibur? Kalik? The dude with the
Not
bow.
a clue. I didn't play that.
Oh, he's a dude with a bow staff. I have a bow staff. I actually got that for my wife one day, like one year for her birthday, and so I actually have like a legit bow staff that's like trained, like weighted to swing properly and like train with, and I also keep a crowbar underneath my couch because I read a zombie survival guide from Max Brooks when I was a kid, and the crowbar is like one of the best weapons you can have, and this was during the time when like zombie apocalypse scenarios were all the rage, like Resident Evil and 21 Days Later and all that stuff. So I always kept a crowbar in case I needed it to pry something open to be able to get somewhere. And yeah, right. So I've had the same crowbar for like a decade now.
God bless.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Let me like speed run the rest of the story because I
do it. I'm sorry. Yeah,
yeah, no problem. Yeah. That's fine. So ended up living there for 6 months. Got some jobs. In fact, the biggest thing I got to do with actually Steve and Coco were on the show as well. We got to do ESL, the preseason invitational over there. So got to some cool stuff, but we got there, kind of realized what the status quo of casting and whatnot in that area was. Got to meet some really cool guys. Like, we got to do some also really cool behind the scenes stuff. In fact, actually, I think all of us got to do a little bit of casting on the Riot stage with one of their internal tournaments called Riot Clash or Riot Rumble. There we go. It's basically just an all Rioter tournament, and we just knew some people, and they're like, "Hey, we need casters at the LCS studios. Would you guys be interested?" And we're like, "Hell yes, right now, let's go." So we got to do some cool things.
Was that paid?
No, it was volunteer.
Of course, right.
I mean, it also was never broadcasted publicly.
Oh, okay, okay. I mean,
it was really cool.
That's still cool. You got to sit in the caster booth and everything, yeah?
Yeah, we got to cast from it.
No, that's actually really cool. It's legit.
It is cheap as all hell, but it looks really nice on camera.
Really?
Like the chairs and the table are about to fall apart, but it looks good.
That's awesome.
Like we got up there, we're like, "How is this still standing?" But it was fun. And then we had at that point already knew a few of the Riot casters, so we just like they didn't know we were coming in, so we just like posted we were coming in, and all of a sudden we had like 5 to 6, not 5 to 6. We had a few of the Riot casters being like, "Oh shit, guys, what's up?"
Did you not get reached out for the ESL Collegiate system?
For what do you mean?
The ESL had
season?
Yeah. ESL had the Collegiate season for.
Well, they're doing in-person production, and I am now on the other side of the country.
Well, yeah, I meant, but last year when you were there, right?
Oh no, I was on ESL.
Okay, you were. Okay, good.
I just said that was the favorite thing I did in LA.
Yeah, but you didn't. You said you said a different term. I didn't know there's technical
ESL preseason invitation.
Okay, and that was that was for the collegiate thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, might be. I was like, I heard that. I thought that was maybe something for their amateur league. I didn't know that was for the.
No.
Because
they only do collegiate.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was like labeled the Big East or something like or some other.
It was the Big East, Big Ten.
Yeah.
And the West Coast Conference.
Okay.
Preseason invitation. Each one of them had a different name depending on how much money they paid us. Yeah, no, got to work with Drake Porter and all that. So that was fun. Yeah, but I stayed out there for a while. The jobs were kind of drying up. I could have stayed there if I wanted to, but I think I got to the point where I was really living paycheck to paycheck. I was really desperate, just trying to find jobs wherever, having to do really random jobs on the side, just buy. And I wasn't personally I didn't think I was as close as I thought I was before I went there. Like I kind of realized what the ceiling was, how hard it would be to get into Riot or another professional company.
Yeah.
And I think I just also started to fall out of love with cast. Like I'd do it again, and I think that this coaching road that I'm on right now is potentially a road that will lead back to casting at some point. Like once I very much am hoping to make either an LCS team or some other professional caliber team within the next 3 years. And I think that, after my time doing that, then I could possibly jump back given my experience already. But no, it wasn't a short-term solution. I wasn't happy. I went through some emotional stuff. Like, actually, right before I left, I went through probably the roughest breakup I think I ever had in my life.
I'm sorry, man.
It happens. It's life.
Yeah.
But, it's better now. But,
Dude,
it was just everything coming together. And I was just like, all right, peace, we out.
Yeah, I've been married for almost 10 years, and it's some days it's still a struggle.
I don't know how you do it.
It's like I said, sometimes it's sometimes still a struggle, but yeah, man.
Actually, every married person out there is insane. That's just that's not how humans are supposed to work.
You've met me. I'm not quite the most sane person in the world, anyway.
Fair.
You're back in Georgia, right?
For the moment, yes, I am back in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, yeah, and so the whole quarantine thing. I mean, yeah, it's messed with some live events, but you still got the coaching going for you. And I always thought you'd be a great coach or analyst because like you really deep dive into some of the most like don't take this the wrong way, but I mean you deep dive into some good like really good topics, but some of the most pointless things you like deep dive into. And like
Steven, if I have to hear one more word at Midwest Campus Clash about how this specific mechanic works, I'm legitimately gonna start crying.
It was always entertaining though. That's the thing, is that because you knew your shit. So like I mean, if someone is passionate about whatever, even a fucking chocolate popsicle, and they want to talk about it, I'll listen. But like. Yeah, you just seem to you seem to take to that sort of thing, and are like, I was always wondering why you never coached. But I mean, like casting was always a thing that you did and you could do and you were good at. So I was like, oh, I mean, good for him. Mm-hmm. And and like the LA thing, like I know, like I mean that's your personal life. No one needs to know about that unless you want them to know. And obviously you're talking about it. So like I never knew about that stuff. Is what I'm trying to say beforehand. So I always thought you were just doing really well. So. Oh, I'm sorry, man.
That was the wildest like 180 right there at the end, but I appreciate it. It's
I did. I mean, you posted. I mean, while you were over there, you posted about the things you casted, and like I know a little bit about some of the rates that you can get, but I mean, you seem to be having quasi regular work, and then you picked up the coaching gig, and I was like, oh, he's doing great. I don't know how Supernova was.
And now he's crashing. He's out of LA.
No, but that's fine because I mean, you realized you needed to change. You didn't like force it. Some people force it, and I've told people live a different dream. You can sleep more than once and have more than one dream, man. And it even doesn't. It can be in the same realm. And I mean, like obviously you went from casting to League of Legends to coaching League of Legends. Like that's fine. Like recognize. I hate it when people crash and burn because they're too stubborn to realize that they are good at other stuff, that they can be good at other stuff. That's why I'm doing a podcast. I mean, I'm not doing this for money or anything, but it's like, it's fun. I have other stuff that bring me money. I don't need to do it, but I don't need to do casting. It doesn't, I'm like you. I just got burnt out. It doesn't bring me as much joy anymore. And by the way, so and I know this is obviously like my ADD kicking in because I might have a little bit, but would you still cast if it's just like for fun, like just because so fun fact, marijuana is legal in Nevada, and
I'm really looking forward to how you tie these back together, but go right ahead.
So I've asked Corvus and I've asked Jolly from Boise, and
oh no, it didn't. Side note, didn't Jolly and Adam break up or something?
They did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jolly was here a couple of weeks ago, right before the lockdown for the Mountain West event here in UNLV. So I got to talk to her a little bit.
Yeah, I did watch that.
Yeah. I missed all of it.
Oh my god, wait. I'm so mad. But no, continue first, and then I'll explain why I'm mad.
Okay. So I'll make it quick. The main reason why I'm asking is because I've been wanting to do a fun casting thing because again I'm burnt out and I want to make it fun for myself again. And I want to do something called blunt casting where I like cast with no filter on, and I'm like, wow, that really sucked. Why did I do that? But also, I would be getting high at the same time. And
I just want an excuse to shoutcast and get high return. Like that's really what we're doing here. There's no shame. I can understand that.
Yeah. Would that be something you're interested in?
Well, I need to be in a state where it's legal first. But
oh yeah, that's probably a good point.
Yeah. Georgia's not. But.
Oh no! You don't do it. I do it, and then you just cast with me as a.
So
as the
exist
sober.
as you get hot. All right, yeah, that's an interesting. We'll think on that offer.
All right,
but,
man. So why are you pissed off?
I still do a bit of casting. Like, I don't know if you've been following, but like last week, I think actually, yeah, it's been about a week. I was in New Jersey, Atlantic City, New Jersey, for the MAAC League of Legends Finals. MAAC, of course, being a collegiate, whatever the conference.
I didn't know that.
And as I was there, I mean, it was a bit of a smaller event. EGF was putting it on, and it was like gold plat gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like the best gameplay you've ever seen out of North America, but literally as I landed, we went from, all right, the event is on and nobody is canceling us except for the government, to we are no longer having an audience, to it's over, everyone go home.
Oh my gosh.
Within the span of like an hour. So
yeah, that's what I've noticed. Things are changing. I guess you can't even say it day by day. It's changing like half a day by like every few hours. My work pending up until the point the governor actually made the announcement. I got told 3 or 4 different things from my company about what was happening. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll just go fuck off. This is all out of my power.
Yeah, no, it was wild because on top of the League of Legends tournament they were having, they were like a day into their basketball championship for the season. Jeez. And it was on the boardwalk of Atlantic City, which, by the way, is already a ghost town without the coronavirus.
Really?
With the coronavirus, it's just disturbingly empty.
Atlantic City?
Yes.
I figured that would be hopping.
It's hopping whenever there's a big event going on.
Okay. Fair.
But I assume some people were already not traveling because of the coronavirus. And then when the basketball tournament got called off, it just emptied immediately.
Yeah, because that's close to New York. I mean, it's not like there, but like I know
you can drive to it. It's an hour drive to New York, hour drive to Philadelphia Airport.
Yeah, and that probably already had some people a little bit scared because
New York. Yeah, I'm sure. But I still do that. I've got 2 things.
Go for it.
I still do some casting. Like, if the right opportunity presents itself, I would. Like, if Midwest Campus Clash, hallowed be its name, may it rest in peace. If that ever came back, I'd do it. If I got the call from Chad to go back to Harrisburg, I'd definitely do it. But it's not the main focus right now. And I lied, I only had 1. So
you said something pissed you off right before I got on my tangent about Bluntcast.
Oh, yeah.
Go
okay, so for Collegiate, like, I actually watched the Midwest esports event. And normally, given my history with some of the teams, I would not watch the Midwest esports finals. But like, I was starting to put in a lot more work because I was applying to, and I kind of got some inside knowledge that I probably was going to be on the selection committee for Collegiate. So like, I was actually putting in the effort to watch all that, and then Collegiate just gets canceled, and I'm like, I watched Midwest esports for nothing.
I missed it completely. I was going there on my so I worked that day.
You're there though.
I worked that day, and I said, all right, I'm gonna go after. And by the time I got there, it was like 3 20-minute or 2 or 3 20-minute games apparently, and Reno won, and I didn't get to see any of it because it was already done because it was so quick. I'm like, well, that's
all I know is that. Oh, sorry, good.
No, I was just saying that sucks. Like, I wish I would have. Like, that was my opportunity to watch some League of Legends, and like my local League of Legends, which I'm more interested in than anything else. But I got there and everything was already done. Degon had already left. He'd already peaced out. So I didn't even get to talk to Degon. So
Yeah.
So
I know. Before going to it, I was like, oh shoot, Boise's not in the finals. What am I supposed to do now? How am I supposed to watch this?
I talked to Lisa about that.
What about me and Boise?
Yeah.
Oh, go on. I want to hear this.
Oh no.
Wait, was it on the podcast or like?
No. I was like sitting down with her at UNLV, just like we were just talking shit about.
Screw this return guy. Am I right?
No. It wasn't that. She doesn't really understand why you go after them so much, but it's like she
all right.
She gets some of it though.
So. I don't know whether I should give like my TLDR on the Boise, but
I could do it real quick. The Boise State makes some outrageous claims sometimes, and you call them out.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, and I know everyone's gonna call BS. Like, literally, if Chris is watching this, he's gonna call BS. But I actually legitimately do want that program to succeed. Like it brings a lot of really cool things. Like by and far, the way that they handle the way that they handle their broadcast, the way they handle like the stream area and all that kind of stuff is actually the best out of any college I've seen. I just don't like a lot of the directions they choose to go with social media and whatnot. And I feel like there needs to be more of an emphasis on just pure either competition or on the players, all that kind of stuff. But I feel like so much of it is focused on the administration there, which is fine. Like admins are allowed to have a brand, but then like just factually incorrect statement. And I feel like it's almost to the point where like they do it once, you forgive them. You realize, okay, that's going on, despite the fact that you get into a Twitter war after. The second or third time, you start to suspect that something's up. And, you know, bless their hearts. Like I wish them the best, and I hope that, you know, they can reevaluate the Twitter game and come join us back at the Fun Kids table, but they'll be fine. Like all this stuff, even the thing that's kind of sad about the whole situation, but really smart, is that the battles they're fighting, like, because that's what I see a lot of these tweets are. They are kind of picking fights, benefit them, and don't actually have any drawback.
Right.
Because like
it's like Drake Porter tweeting.
Well,
it's
no.
eyes on the product is what it is.
True. All right, Brew. The thing that I've kind of been going with is that the tweets that Boise puts out that are a little bit sus, that are hella sus, they're not aimed at us. They're not aimed at a majority of the informed viewing population. Because we're already at our own colleges. We already have our own program.
Right.
They're aimed at Boise people. And Boise people will see that and be very impressed by it. And no matter how much we call it out, like, that's still what they're there for. So, you know, there is a point where even I have to say, you know, to each their own, let them kind of do their own thing. They're just probably not going to get a lot of goodwill elsewhere, but you know, if that's the road they want to take, then it's the road they take.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I just don't mess with it anymore. If I see something outrageous by them,
every once in a while I'll poke them with a stick, just make sure they're still awake. It's fine.
Oh shit. So let's actually switch gears a little bit, because some people won't know that you know, in addition to you doing collegiate work in the casting field, now you're doing amateur work. You actually played for Champlain College as well as their support. Is that correct?
I played as their support, as their top laner, as their jungler. I think I had a brief stint as their mid laner as well.
So Champlain just didn't have like much of a recruiting service, like didn't have any.
Oh no, we have no recruiting. Champlain College. Here, let me throw you a hot link. My Leaguepedia page, by the way.
Ooh, I will put this in the description below.
Yeah, you can see. Let's see. Yeah, according to my Leaguepedia, I played 3 positions: top, support, jungle.
Do
and
I have
coach.
a Leaguepedia?
I don't know. You have to like. I think they only gave it to casters who were working the scouting ground circuit last year.
Oh, okay.
It was a weird thing. Oh yeah, previous roles: analyst, caster, jungler, top support. Fantastic. But Champlain College was a student-run club. We didn't receive much funding. We didn't receive much funding from the school. We had no scholarships to give away. We barely had physical space on campus. It was really more of a work of a labor of love than anything else. So yeah, we got in some really weird situations where, like, the last season I was like, all right, I'm not going to play. I'm just the general manager. And then we came in, and then our top laner cried during one of the tournaments.
Oh, goodness.
And they were like, okay, we need a new top laner now. And like, okay, nobody else on campus plays League of Legends. Guess I'm playing top now. And that's what spawned.
They were all right, weren't they?
One trick sign. Yeah.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
And then it was spawned the famous Twitter rant of days in the life of a C-level top laner that lasted for like 2 weeks, and I received endless complaints that I did not continue. And then that stayed for like half a year. Then our all-star jungler, who was a freshman, got like a 0.5 GPA somehow and got kicked out of campus.
That's an amazing GTA. Even me dropping out, I think I had a larger GTA than that.
Like, you have to not go to class.
A GPA, sorry.
We were shocked when he came and told us, because it was the semester break. It was winter break. And he was like, hey guys, I may be in a little bit of trouble with my grades. And we're like, okay, we do have a student made handbook that's like, you must have a GPA of this to be competitive.
Yeah.
If you're on this, you're on probation. I was like, all right, if you're still willing to work with us, and as long as we get you to commit to some of the like tutoring programs, you should be fine. Because I was like, okay, he's probably just like a little bit under the bar or something, so he's worried about his eligibility going forward. I'm like, okay, we're not a real team. We can pull some string. And then I'm like, all right, what's your GPA? 0.5. Get the fuck out right now.
It's just beyond hopeless.
Yeah, it's beyond hopeless. And he was like the best player in our team by far.
That sucks.
It had a lot of drama and a lot of baggage around him, but he was a damn good jungler.
Oh my god.
And then he got kicked off, and we brought in this somebody else who was, I think we went from like a diamond grandmaster level to about a silver level, so that hurt. And then we went to LAN up in Montreal, LAN ETS. I had to switch support because our support player did not have a passport.
All right.
And then after that, we kicked our jungler, and I moved to the jungle. So that was really just the whole wraparound.
I don't think passport. I don't think of passport issues being a thing in Collegiate, but yeah, I guess you do have a lot of foreign exchange students. And things
we're in Burlington, Vermont.
Yeah.
So there is nothing nearby except Montreal. So if you can't get over the border, you're just being real bored.
Hey, so I'm looking at your Wikipedia. Can I ask you some questions from it? Dude,
hit me.
So what's this? So when I'm just gonna read it, and I kind of knew this by you, and I actually don't know the origin. Went by the tag Big Stevie before 2016. This nickname was given to him by his high school football coach. Why Big Stevie? Because you're tall.
I know, I'm skinny as hell.
Yeah.
Like, anyone
you're a soccer player, right?
In college I was, but I did actually play football back in high school, and I did track. I was more of a track athlete, like that kind of build. Where it was streamlined.
Gotcha.
Which is another way to say I was skinny as all hell. But no, that was so I joined football on a whim. Freshman year of high school, I was like, I'm gonna join the golf team. I tried out for them during the summer. Missed by 2 strokes, nearly had my head taken off by somebody who had no idea what the rules of golf were behind me.
Lord.
No, so like we're on the first hole, I hit it, I have my first shot, our group moves up, and like you play in groups. And as I'm lining up for my second shot, which is the top of a hill, the group behind us just rips one that hits my bag, which was covering my leg.
Oh my god.
And I was like, the hell is this?
I would have left a giant welt.
Oh, yeah, no, it would have either... it would have hurt. It would have hurt like hell.
It would have damaged blood vessels. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It bounced off my bag, and I'm just staring back at this girl who just, like, randomly decided it was her time to go, and I was like, the heck you doing? But, okay, so I missed golf, decided to join football, was able to walk onto the team, and I was like a real nerdy guy back in high school. I am now.
I was, yeah.
But even more so.
Gotcha.
Like right now, I'm kind of like a hybrid between a nerd and a jock, more so to the nerd side, just because I play like high school sports for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like before, it was 100% on the dweeb side. That was me, and like I got bullied from time to time, especially like in football my first few years. But during my second year, there was one specific circumstance. I was a tight end, so I worked with the lineman coach. But we were doing punt return drills, and I was on the practice side, so going against the main guys to give them practice. This one winger, that's not a football term, that's a soccer term. The one gunner beats me up the side. Yeah, thank you. One gunner beats me up the side on a punt return pretty badly, but that's not a position I play. But I get back to the sideline, and there's just this like brat who's just poking me, like telling me that this guy beat me, and I'm like, yeah, I know, it's fine, but like making fun of me repeatedly, like nudging me, pushing me a bit, like just being mean to me. And this is like one of those guys who's not one of the cool kids, but like makes fun of the same people the cool kids do, so he can try to be cool.
Yeah.
But he's also like 120 pounds wet, and he was just annoying me. So I walked away. He followed me. I walked away again. He followed me again. And then he poked me one more time, and in front of the whole team, like on the sideline, I picked his ass up, threw him over my shoulder, and walked away.
I can't imagine you even trying that. You're so docile. Well, like, you're not, I won't say docile. You're non-confrontational physically. It just seems like I could not even imagine you doing that.
No, I was pissed. I mean, that was actually one of the issues with football. Like, I never saw a single down of play. I was always practice squad guy because I couldn't hit people. Like, we were like a 99% run offense. So as a wide receiver, which I transferred into, you are just run blocking the entire time. And I just wasn't built for that. But no, this kid pushed me too far. And my lineman coach would happen to be standing right behind me, and he just fucking dies of laughter. And then from that day on, I was Big Stevie.
Mazel tov.
Bless. Yeah.
I think I feel like I knew the name Big Stevie. I forgot why you got that, or else I might have been calling you that more.
No, Big Stevie's still the Smurf account I use, but I got too many jokes in solo queue, and I don't want to think with the ramifications of being Steven Big Stevie Johnson on broadcast. So we moved to Returned.
Oh, that's fair. Where'd Return come from?
I don't know. I think I just saw the name Forgiven and was like, I want a name like that, and then I just typed in letters until I got Returned.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
That's why I keep like the fun fact of Big Stevie about, because that's an actually interesting name with a backstory, whereas Return's like, letters.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I've actually seen one of your pictures. Because you posted it before. One of your pictures back in the day when I'm assuming from your words, you might have still been in your dweeb phase, and yeah, you look different nowadays, man.
Oh, is it that one that's like purple with the frosted glasses and dragons?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was so cool back in high school. That was peak high school with the Gunners too. That was great.
Can I post that here? Can I like put that? Can I put that up on the screen?
I do not. I'm not shocked in any way, shape, or form that you have that just available to do so.
I don't, but I'll find it. Like, you have it on your Twitter somewhere.
Yeah, it's there. It's. I was really cool in high school, by the way.
All right, so Champlain College, what happened there? Why'd you stop doing the playing on Champlain?
Well, I mean, I graduated.
Oh, is that why? Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, originally, like my senior year, I knew that we really didn't have any playoff aspirations, and I already was kind of transitioning more to a casting role. Like, I mean, when I was in high school, my last year of college, rather, I was on events like every other week.
Yeah.
Like I had there was 1 month where I had Hugh Fest, followed by Play VS, followed by DreamHack Montreal, like week after week.
Yeah.
So like I didn't want to be in a playing role where I was not going to be there to play. And like knowing that we really didn't have too many hopes, I was like, okay, if I just focus on setting you guys up for success when I leave, everything should be fine. And then everything lit on fire, as everything in Collegiate does. But then I was forced back into the playing role because just people don't play League of Legends at our college. But yeah, it was a fun time. I'm actually planning to get some more. I'm actually planning to work back in Collegiate sometime soon. Like physically about to sign a offer letter about it.
Oh.
Can't go into more information than just that.
Oh, watch out for it on Twitter though.
Yeah. No, I am very excited to be working with Collegiate again. I think it's a great area, but the next place I go, I'm looking for some place that has a little bit more structure to support the program. Champlain was fun, but I need like to be able to inflict change in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
And have it stick for more than like. Well, I wouldn't say that. We did inflict change. We did build a pretty good program out of nothing, but I'm ready for the next level to that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Have there been any aspirations outside of League of Legends? Because I mean, it seems like whatever you take a dive into, you really stick to it. And you get into it. But League of Legends has been your bread and butter for years. Is there any like aspirations for obviously Overwatch is the big one, but even Dota or anything like that?
Yeah, no, I've had many existential crises about that very same question, my friend. But I mean, outside of League, I don't really do much. I've been playing some like other competitive games I played, like Formula 1 2019. I've been grinding a bit as of late. Valorant is something I've been getting into.
I was wondering, you're looking forward to that one?
Yeah, I like I've been able to actually play it a bit.
How are you playing
Recently,
Valorant?
huh?
How are you playing Valorant?
You have really good connections, my friend.
Oh, I
But
haven't lived in
the time
LA.
in LA was not making money. The time in LA was getting connection. And
Does is
that
that
worked quite well.
does that feel weird though? Like, I mean, obviously, I mean,
It's
like,
the job. Like
yeah. I guess
it's
that's
not the shining thing that Bright Eyed Return moving to LA thought it was going to be, but
yeah.
I don't know. There's not everything in the scene is as peachy and wholesome above board, but
Right, yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
LA was a time of plenty of connections, too many open barred team looking parties, and
yeah. Are you allowed to talk about Valorant at all?
no, I am not.
All right.
So
Well, it
yeah,
seems like you're looking forward to it.
it I will say I'm enjoying it pretty well. Like I think I can. I'm not gonna test it. I think I could probably say anything that's already been officially announced, but
Don't worry about it.
I will say I am having a fun time playing.
Oh,
So
actually,
and
I
there.
do have one specific question about it. And this is something
Oh goody.
no. It's just about the lore. It's not in the Runeterra universe, is it?
About the lore.
Shut up, man.
All right, hyper, come down.
This was a question that Corvus and I went over yesterday, and we didn't actually know, but one of the characters that was the wall hacking character was had Russia next to his name, so I'm assuming it's not in the Runeterra lore and mythos, right? Universe.
I have no idea.
All
I'm
right.
just gonna be straight with you. I don't think I could tell you if I did know,
All right, fair.
but I just legitimately don't know. All I do is click on forehead,
All right, fair.
and that's how we get.
All right, man. So yeah, we covered quite a bit. Is there anything else you wanted to add, wanted to talk about, wanted to get out there? You have a platform. You know,
Let's talk about Collegiate.
you and I really don't talk about much at all. Like we banter on Twitter every now and then, and
Yeah.
Discord I feel like we keep straight business, but like for as much as we work together, we don't really talk that much.
No, I think we just do
We
like
do-
we're both casting, but I think we do radically different things in our off time.
I think so.
So
And like I don't think that's not obviously it's not a bad thing at all, but
right.
like I always have been interested in like who you are outside of collegiate, outside of casting and all that, because I feel like it's almost the same person, but you seem like I said we just don't talk to each other that often, so it's like
Yeah.
I have a coworker I don't really know that well.
It's like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, no, this has been really nice talking
Who
to
does
you
this
in
guy
general.
think he is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how did you get into collegiate casting? How did you even get into casting in the first place? Like, what got you into that?
Okay, so this was actually back in like 2016. Um, it was the last time the North American Challenger Series Open qualifiers existed. During that time, I actually made my way onto one of those teams. I was playing for Katana Esports. Very cool, by the way. No longer have the jersey, unfortunately. That was a gem that got stolen by some kid at ID Tech. But I was playing at that semi-professional level, and then I just hit a ceiling where I wasn't really able to improve much. I got benched directly following that tournament. During that time, our owner Myra was asking if I could broadcast one of the games for them because I was on the bench. I was normally a shot caller in game, so like I had a pretty good understanding of game at that point, and that went well. After that, I decided to do. I got invited through a friend to do like 1v1 casting, which is the most scuffed thing in the universe. But I did that for like a month and a half.
I've done some 1v1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's strange.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, the old Best Zed in A. I casted one of the really old ones of that Poe Belter ended up winning.
God,
That was
you're dating yourself there, my man.
I know.
But yeah, I did that for a little bit. Then I started just doing random customs. Like I would go to the league client, scroll through the list of custom games, find an unlocked game that wasn't just one guy and 9 bots, which is surprisingly common, by the way.
Yeah.
Just apparently people making games that just the one person and 9 bots. Don't know why, but it happened.
Were they
So
learning something?
just finding a game that wasn't one of those
Yeah.
didn't immediately kick me out and just tried to cast that. And then by pure coincidence, one of the games I got into had Ninja, So Garrett Meyerson, the owner of Upsurge, like
Okay.
right as Upsurge was being founded, and like I just was randomly in their game. He invited me to come cast Upsurge, and then here we are.
All right.
I 1,000,000,000% lucked into my first actual casting.
Yeah. So it was strictly because you casted the dude from Upsurge.
Yeah, it
Interesting.
was strictly because I randomly clicked on a custom game that was unlocked, and it just so happened to have the owner of Upsurge in it.
That is quite the happenstance.
Indeed, it is.
Well, I mean that's fine.
Yeah, and then from there I got to meet like Opal, Magical, Enderson.
How is Opal doing? Still doing the stuff in China?
Not in China anymore. Like he got evacuated very quickly.
I don't know how all that's working.
He's working for Fun Plus Phoenix. So
Yeah.
Fun Plus, who owns Fun Plus Phoenix. And they I think are running the PCS, which is basically the continuation of the LMS. So they're premier League of Legends region now.
Gotcha.
So from what I've seen, he's enjoying that. But very niche. But he's doing, because he was never just a caster. He's a good caster, but I think he's an even better producer. So the fact that he kind of got to settle in there, take over operations on that front, while still also doing his unofficial LPL thing.
Yeah.
He seems like he's doing really well for himself. I haven't talked to him much, but talk to people who talk to him.
Gotcha. So from Upsurge, was Collegiate Star League your first Collegiate casting gig?
First actual Collegiate cast. From time to time, I did like random one-off broadcasts.
Yeah.
And like back in Upsurge, we'd have a bunch of collegiate teams, but like the Ohio State University, I think was our champions at some point. But yeah, from there I jumped to Collegiate Star League. I had no idea how I got in. I heard you guys didn't let Opal in, so I didn't tell him about that part. But I was able to scroll up in the general chat. But
who was it? Who was it at the time? I think that was Dan and I were going over. I
think you, Corvus, and Dan.
Yeah, we were going over.
And then
VODs.
I was picked up. Yeah.
Yeah, because
did you guys pick somebody else along with me?
So we had, I don't know if this was before or after, when we had Blaster for a time. We also had Octavian. Brian Starkey. Yeah, and then he went to work for Blizzard, and that's where he's still at. I don't remember exactly, but that was the main cast that I remember. It was Brian, Octavian, Blaster, Corvus, you, and me, and it was some iteration of all that until I think we had Shadow Visions in there eventually too, but I think that was after you.
Yeah, because I left. I think once CSL lost the rights for CeeLo, I think I left basically.
Yeah.
Oh, because that was also when Dan left, and then nobody really got back to us for like a month.
Yeah, I think I stuck around for one more season. I'm still. I don't think I'm technically not with them. I'm still in their sphere of people, but I don't do anything.
I think they invited me back for this season, but it was just at like I was already doing bigger things. It was at a lower rate.
Yeah,
and I didn't really want to move to that level again.
They have offices now over in LA.
Nice. Yeah, I think they're about to lose their league division, but
yeah. That's an interesting situation.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's do, because I talked to Corvus yesterday about it. I'd love to get your opinion. What do you think of of Riot's I guess new rule set with Collegiate and trying, it looks like they're trying to put more of a grasp on things, but I think they're gonna be lenient on a lot of stuff.
I think they will be. I agree. I very much understand what Riot's point of view is and why they're doing this.
Same.
I will go out and say right now my biggest criticism of how Riot is handling this is that I don't think they're being as transparent as they could with their motivations behind things like this. And I think they're afraid that it's going to paint them out to be a little bit of villains. Because I think the biggest, downside of whenever I saw that statement is that there was no context for this. It just came out of nowhere and it looked at first glance very aggressive. But I don't think it's as evil as people think it was. And I think the fact that Riot didn't get ahead of that with their own explanation of it did shoot themselves in the foot for a bit. But for the actual content of it, I think it's going to be most aggressively applied in collegiate and high school. Like, high school is dead if you're not play VS. That's like Riot has effectively handed the entirety of the high school League of Legends and probably eventually Valorant and TFT over to play versus because they have money. And I think college anything that's not named CLOL is basically done for.
Well, they were already partnered with PlayVS, right?
Right. Yeah. PlayVS. Yeah. PlayVS has become a big thing. The thing is, they have so much funding at this point that there's no point competing against them.
These pop-up investor companies are really like crazy to me because a couple of years ago, well, I won't say a couple, it was a little bit more than a couple of years ago. What was Plays VS? And all of a sudden now it has a lot of money. Where did that money come from? Oh, it's an investor, because this is how the esports world works with these like startups. So yeah, it weirds me out that like it just pops up out of nowhere and now all of a sudden they're a thing and I like missed it because it was like a blink. But I knew they were working with Riot, and I was wondering how that was going to go.
I was on their initial tour. Like they did basically a soft release in a few states, so I got to be part of that. We went to Kentucky, we went to Georgia, we went to Connecticut, I think. We went to Tennessee. So we did a bit of a tour of the nation for a bit, but it's an interesting system. I think that they're very top heavy. Like the fact that they weren't built out of grassroots means I think they still don't quite connect with the needs of the teams and the players perfectly. But I think the fact is that they have so many resources and they now have the right business people in place to make sure that it's a more professional product than all the high school stuff. And I think that if you're looking at it from Riot's point of view, do you either A, give control to this company that seems to know what it's doing, and if they don't know, they have the resources to figure it out, or do we give it to these unfunded high school associations? And when you're worrying about your brand image and how that works, you're going to go with the company that has the resources every time.
Right, yeah.
And then Collegiate, they own Collegiate, so they're saying anything that's not us, go away. So buy CSL, buy AVGL.
So any of the big ones, it seems like, because I feel like, what was the limit? Like 20 teams? So it was 20?
So the unlicensed limit was 16 teams.
Okay.
And it can only last 14 days.
Yeah, but that still gives plenty of room for colleges to do small, like the Midwest Campus Clash style tournaments, where it's a little bit small and isolated. Which
correct.
I think it's mostly fine. I understand the elimination of if there is an elimination, because like I said, I feel like they're going to be lenient on quite a few exceptions. But it's like
I think they'll be less so.
Really? Why is that?
I think once again in collegiate and high school, they really want their brands to be the only thing that exists. So I think they're going to be aggressive.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I think you're right. I think that, if Midwest Campus Clash like reappeared, or I think Harrisburg University Esports Festival is fine. I think any of those that are more school run and are focused on, showcasing competition or bringing notoriety to specific universities, I think that will still be perfectly fine. Even if they go outside the limits, I wouldn't be shocked to see them get licensed by Riot. So maybe even receiving more support from Riot than they would before. Like I know that at MAAC, we actually had a Tournament Realm server on site.
That's convenient.
Which is something that just doesn't happen normally.
Right,
so
yeah. Midwest
I wouldn't be
Campus
shocked if, like Harrisburg got licensed, got a server like that for their event.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything that's a competitor, anything that has a seasonal format is gone. I think if CSL and AVGL flex back to kind of the invitational styles they used to run before, they might survive a little bit. But then there's also the issues where they can only have a sponsor 3 times a year. They can only give away $10,000 max over the season. And I don't think those are orgs that Riot's going to want to be leaning with.
Yeah, that's fair. I do like the idea of more pop-up tournaments at colleges, and because that actually that has an event surrounded by it, and it makes it have a little bit more meaning, in my opinion. Like, and this is no offense to CSL or AVGL, but if you have a season-long event, like the second game, who cares about it? Like, who's gonna watch it?
Yeah, from a narrative perspective, there's just no real reason to watch something that's not CLOL.
Right. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like. Obviously, the competition for AVGL or CSL is not as high as the CLOL, but I mean, there is still like a lot of teams that depend on it, unfortunately, and that's something that's been
it's an intramural league at this point.
Yeah. So
not intramural, but it's a JV league.
I do hope that more. I do hope that more colleges get into the pop-up tournaments, because again, even if it is a JV league, like those teams, those players, those schools still do rely on that for competition to get better, to be able to cultivate their own skills, and not to mention scholarship money. So that's something that's going to be vanishing more than likely from them. And that really sucks. And I hope it's taken the place by what takes its place are more pop-up tournaments, or like you said, invitationals from these organizations. Even though they are limited, it's still something. And I hope the ecosystem is able to shift and make up for it in some form or fashion, because you still need like, even like college football, they have the B teams and everything like that, and like there's AAA division. What was it? Hell, you're a college athlete. What is it? It's not. It's like it's a AAA division.
D1.
Yeah, D1. My bad. AAA is wrestling.
Correct.
Yeah. D1, D2, and D3. So I would hope that they would be able to do something like that. And actually, Riot could do something like that if they wanted. Maybe that's what they're shifting toward.
I wouldn't really count on that one, but
why is that?
What, running D1
and D2 divisions?
No, they want to stay away from NCAA, and honestly, I don't think they want to put that much effort into Collegiate.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I guess they're
like
shifting their side.
They are top heavy focused, like, and they want their premier product to be premier. Like, they want CLOL to be really prestigious.
Yeah,
and I think they're actually doing pretty well with that.
I think so too. In fact,
there's not really return on investment for making a second league.
Yeah, I don't even know if they have a big return on investment on their primary league at the moment. Or at least, I know if it has, it might have just been returning it recently. But yeah, a fun fact: I actually reached out to Tiza to be on here, and he actually got back to me saying he's going to try to talk to his people and see what's up. But everything's going kind of slow. If he's on here, I'm going to ask him all these questions, and I'll get questions from people on Twitter and things like that. And I'll definitely hit you up if you want to ask him questions directly, because I know there's a lot of questions surrounding.
We've chatted before, so
yeah.
There's not anything I really need to get out of him.
Yeah, well, I'll still
we'll tie him down to a chair and yell at him about Collegiate. It's gonna be great. That'd be a podcast. You just bring people on, you strap them to the chair, and you just yell at them all the time. That'd get views, maybe. I don't know.
I'll throw that out to him.
What I'm saying is kidnap Tiza. I think that's really what I'm trying to get out of this.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's end it there before we go into any more criminal activities. Anything else you want to say, man? You want to shout out anybody?
No, not really. Just, we just big chilling here.
Yeah, man.
Waiting for stuff to happen.
You doing all right during the quarantine? How is Georgia's not quite locked down yet, is it? But it's like,
we lost our we got the devastating news that the Waffle Houses were infected. So
if Waffle House is done, it's like the whole southern region of the United States.
You can just take that star off the flag. Like, Georgia's gone. We're done. It's been a good run, but
yeah, I don't know if you know this. I lived in Mississippi for a bit, and it was after Katrina, and I was told that no matter what, the Waffle Houses, they stay open, and those are a gauge of how serious the situation is. And
the Waffle Houses are closed right now.
Yeah, they only closed during Katrina back then, and that's when shit was about to hit the fan. And I guess that's about the kind of gauge they're going with now too.
Yeah, yes, it is bad.
When Redneck Hibachi's down, life is down.
It's over.
Yeah, man. All right, thank you very much, man, for being on. This was enlightening. I'm glad we got to talk. Like I said, we don't I don't know. We don't play games together. I don't play games with anybody. I even talked to Corvus about that. Like, for chill as Corvus and I are, we don't play games together. I don't play anything with anybody. So yeah, man, it was nice to get down, sit down and talk to you for a good hour.
Yeah, good to get a chat.
Thanks, man. I hope you stay safe and stay healthy, and I hope the coaching thing keeps going for you. It's really awesome that you did that. Like I said, I was pretty stoked whenever you said you did that, because I when I picture you, it was always in that sort of role. Even though like you said, you're fine, you're definitely a fine caster, you're great, but I don't know, man. Like I said, I always just thought you were better. You could be really good at coaching, and I'm glad you're pursuing it, man.
Thank you very much. It's a journey to say the least, but
everything is.
We're making it work. Yeah.
Everything is. No worries, man. Have a good one.
All right. Yeah. Peace.
See ya. That was Steven Return Johnson. That was his experience. That was his journey. I couldn't find that photo. I looked through, like I said, about 600 photos, along with 3 Discord channels that we've been in together, going all the way back to 2018. Which actually told me I casted with him for about a year and a half, because I haven't casted in about a year. So it's been a decent amount of time for him and I to cast and, like I said, go to live events. I knew we did at least one season of League of Legends, Collegiate League of Legends, I should say. So yeah, that's his journey though, and he's again head analyst for Supernova, so that's really cool. Other than that, that's it for this week. My name is Joshua Feques Quest. You can drop me a line at Twitter, twitter.com/Feques. That's P-H-E-Q-E-S. You can also leave a comment in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, all that such. I should really just automate this. I should just have one recording that does everything at the end. I don't know. I hate robotic repetitiveness. I like doing things organically. I like if I'm off one week, like I like that being a documentation of me being off, because you can tell if I'm off, because I won't speak clearly, or I'll just be making a lot of mistakes and I won't go edit them. That is the point. I always make mistakes, but I edit them with this. I probably shouldn't say that, because a lot of people probably find a lot of mistakes that I just look over, I just gloss over. Either way, I feel like I'm rambling. I hope you all have a safe week. Hope you all are, healthy, staying healthy, practicing that social distancing. I think they're going to call it physical distancing pretty soon, to be able to really emphasize what they mean about the whole term. Because apparently socializing was still happening, but in close proximity of people. I don't know. I have no idea. Either way, stay healthy, stay safe. I'll catch you all Friday. Thank you very much.